What am I doing with my life? That was a question stuck in my head the first morning after I arrived in Japan at the beginning of 2024. I was exploring Hibiya Park in Tokyo, nervous about being in a foreign country alone, but also excited. But seriously, what is the plan? What am I going to accomplish here? I'm a guy in my late 20s who's lived in California my whole life, who just wants to try 3 months of language school to see what it's like to live in Japan. That's what I told people, at least. It's somewhat true, but really, it was to re-energize a spirit that's been worn down from the same mundane routine at home. Little did I know that those 3 months would turn into nearly 5, and that I would have one of the best experiences in my life. This is my story of how 130 days in Japan changed my life forever. Rewind 6 to 8 months back to mid-2023, where I went on the most incredible travel trips in my life. I explored Japan with friends and family, I got the Crazy Rich Asians experience in Singapore and Bali, and attended one of the most beautiful weddings ever. During those trips, I felt alive, each place being a brand new world, and I genuinely wondered while exploring, what would it be like to live here? That's when I decided, I have to give it a shot, especially while I'm still debatably young. So I did the research, sorted through the options, and landed on language school in Kyoto, Japan. But wait, it's at least a 3-month program. What about my mom? What about my dog? What if my friends can't survive without me? And more seriously, I had a feeling my mom wasn't going to be happy about it, and I was right. She asked me why I was even considering it, and gave me a lecture saying that I should be focusing on my career at this point in my life. So there was a lot of doubt inside of me. But one thing kept resonating in my head. This is my life. And I recently made an oath to myself that says, I will strive to live a life worth remembering. A life that I'm proud of. And with those words in mind, I gathered strength and took a leap of faith. I committed to the plan, live in a foreign country to explore, learn more about myself, and how I function outside of my home in California. It's happening. Upon arriving to Kyoto and entering language school, my first goal wasn't to ace the entrance exam. Instead, my first real goal was to make friends. So after the exam, I immediately found the English-speaking group chilling in the corner, introduced myself, talked a bit, got everybody's contact, and then started planning some hangouts. One of the things that I really love about meeting friends in a foreign country is that they're from all over the world. In my first group of friends, we had people from Sweden, France, Spain, Germany, and Mexico. It made conversations really easy since we all came from different cultures, so there were many stories to tell. And I got to learn some random German phrases like Das ist Fleisch and Scheiße and Mein Gott, muss das sein. Very important phrases, if you know what they mean. This first group of friends became close friends that lasted all the way through to the end, and I'm looking forward to seeing them again in the future. 130 days of stories is way too long for one video, but there were 2 pivotal events that, in hindsight, really elevated the experience. The first was when my friends invited me to their share houses to cook. I was already staying at a share house, but their share house was way more communal with a spread of both foreigners and Japanese natives. I ended up making a lot of Japanese friends by visiting often, leading to experiences I definitely never would have had due to my lack of Japanese ability. I loved their share houses so much that I ended up moving to my friend's share house. And I feel like something valuable that I learned is that living in a communal space suits me a lot more, and it feels more natural compared to being alone all the time. It feels vastly different. Admittedly, it can cause some drama as well, since there were some heated fights regarding cleanliness from certain people and some loudness at night. But I suppose it taught me that it is possible to wear AirPod Pros to sleep while using noise cancellation. So that's something. But on a serious note, there were some less than ideal conflicts I had to face, so it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows all the way through. But I will say, the bad was outshined by the good tenfold. Either way, a simple invite from friends to events where you can meet others can lead to some unforgettable memories. Okay, so the second pivotal event was meeting a girl. It was through a dating app. Yes, a dating app. I have my opinions about them, but I'll save them for a future video. We met at Kyoto Station as friends, and over time it developed into something more. For me, I haven't been in a relationship since college, so it was definitely a huge learning experience. Being from different cultures also made it interesting sometimes, but she honestly went above and beyond for me, and I got to see Japan from a native perspective from her. To be honest, although I was open to dating in Japan, I wasn't expecting anything from it. But she truly elevated the experience to another level for me because some of my favorite memories from this whole adventure are with her. I love her, and I'm extremely grateful for her. So those were the two pivotal events, but another person I wanted to mention who was very important was the only person I knew in Kyoto before coming. Basically, my first native Japanese friend who I knew through my sister. Thanks to her, I found the coolest piano spot in Kyoto Station, met some other Japanese piano players, visited awesome places in Japan like Amano Hashidate, Kobe, Uji, and Sendai. She also teaches Japanese as a living, so I seriously learned a lot of Japanese from her, and I'm super grateful to her. And that brings us back to language school. How was it? 3 hours every weekday for learning a language was pretty nice. I thought all the teachers were very nice and friendly, and they taught in a more digestible way compared to American teachers did, at least for this school. I feel like I learned a fair amount, and I made friends with classmates of various ages ranging from 18 to 50-something years old. The school was a great spot to catch up with new friends and make new plans. Everything combined led to having daily adventures with everyone I met, and occasionally some big ones where we traveled outside of Kyoto City. For 134 days, it was just adventure after adventure, with only 3 days where I didn't go out to meet with friends or explore. It felt like I had unlimited energy. In California, I go out maybe 3 times a week and experience something brand new once every maybe 60 days. And usually after something happens like a hangout or an event, I get extremely tired. With this experience, it hit me with crystal clarity. It's not that I'm just tired all the time or lazy or lacking energy. It's the environment around me that either gives or drains my energy. California me would not have really believed that 4 months of nearly daily adventures would be possible. Honestly, thinking about it right now, I feel like what I did was pretty insane. But exposure to a new and beautiful environment can seriously make all the difference. Playing piano at Kyoto Station, meeting other musicians, eating amazing food every day with friends, playing Hong Kong Uno at welcome and goodbye parties at the share house, exploring too many to count beautiful temples, shrines, castles, and gardens, traveling to Korea for 4 days and biking with beautiful scenery, witnessing cherry blossoms at full bloom for the first time, going on date trips in absolutely gorgeous places, learning Japanese and trying my best to use it in conversations with my new Japanese friends, and just talking and getting to know people. All of it, honestly, was one of the most fulfilling things I've ever experienced in my entire life. The final 2 weeks were a rush, saying goodbye to all the friends I made, having one last meal or hangout, and finally saying goodbye to a place where I got to be fully myself, where I felt genuinely the happiest I've been in such a long time. All of it left me pretty deeply messed up when I got back home. For about 2 months or so, I struggled to gain my footing. I was binge watching movies, anime, YouTube, and even playing a game I thought I was finished with. It's like I just didn't want to face reality, so I eased the pain with entertainment. But there was a day where I woke up with a thought that changed things. It was a thought of me wanting to go back to Japan. It's a thought I obviously had before, but the end of my Japan experience just felt so final, and it prevented me from really feeling it. But somehow, after a dream of being back in Japan, that thought transformed into a feeling that just wouldn't go away. I seriously want to go back, and I'm willing to fight for it. A life in a place where I know I'll thrive, a life worth remembering, a version of me I'm proud of. That's what I promised myself I'd fight for, and I wasn't doing that. So for the past month, I did my absolute best to get my shit together, and for the first time in a long time, I finally feel extremely motivated with a purpose. 130 days in Japan showed me something absolutely incredible. I know that maybe if I stayed there longer, perhaps it would have lost its magic, but it doesn't matter. The fact that I get to experience the magic at all is already enough for me to want to fight for it. And I think when you have something in life that you truly, really want, everything starts to become clearer, and some things even become easier. I no longer need to push myself to stop watching so much entertainment. I just completely stopped because I want to spend that time and use it towards the plan. And I no longer need to push myself to work on projects because I actually feel like I want to do the work, so then I can get closer to the place I want to be. Everything feels different, all thanks to the fact that I chose adventure over comfort. Coincidentally, I met up with a friend recently who had his own adventure in Bangkok. He worked at Google for a long time and felt burnt out, so he quit his job, traveled to Asia, and had one of the best experiences in his life. Both of us are back in America right now, but he's fighting for his return as well. We used to practice breaking together in high school and promise each other we'd get flares. After endless practice sessions in his garage in summer, we managed it. Now as adults, we've got similar goals again, and I gotta say it's great to have a friend who understands me and is also fighting. The greatest lesson I took away from this experience is that life can be amazing. The place does matter. The environment does matter. Take that step and try to get out there regardless of who says it's dumb or waste of money and time. It's a life experience worth fighting for. And if you really want to do it, well, it's your life. Take control and take a leap of faith in trying something new and adventurous that can potentially change the trajectory of your life forever. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll leave some links down below for some resources on practical steps on how to do what I did in Japan. Best of luck with your own endeavors, whatever they might be. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.